The Senate is about to consider HR1, the For the People Act, one of the most powerful election reform bills in decades. In this video, I'm going to go over what's in the act, how we pass it, and why it is so important to pass right now. As we speak, there is an unprecedented attack on voting rights in states across the country. In response to unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election, state legislatures across the country are cracking down on voting rights and establishing roadblocks that make it more difficult for people to vote. These new restrictions are corrupt and do nothing to make our elections more secure. However, Congress is currently considering a law that would protect voting rights, increase voter turnout, secure our elections, and fight corruption, all at the same time. Anti-corruption group Represent Us has deemed the For the People Act the most impactful anti-corruption bill since Watergate. Here are some of the problems HR1 addresses. Gerrymandering reform. Currently, states allow their legislatures to redraw their district boundaries. HR1 requires the use of independent redistricting commissions instead to make sure that our district boundaries are fair and reflect the people that they represent. HR1 also addresses election security by requiring the modernization of voting systems in addition to adding increased security from foreign and domestic threats. It also creates protections for voters in the event that their ballot isn't counted due to a mistake. HR1 also exposes dark money by setting up requirements that mandate the disclosure of sources so we know who's actually funding our elections. It also gives the Federal Election Commission a spine by increasing the enforcement of election laws and restructures it to prevent gridlock by requiring an odd number instead of the even number that often results in inaction on extremely important cases. Voter registration and access. As stated before, there is an unprecedented attack on voter rights and access across the country. HR1 mandates secure automatic voter registration to modernize our democratic institutions. HR1 also increases voter accessibility for federal elections and a strengthening of rights for historically disenfranchised voters. HR1 also sets up a system of publicly financing our elections. This gives voters an increased voice in elections where big money screams. The best part is that this isn't funded at all by taxes and is instead funded through charges and fines on corrupt, super wealthy individuals and corporations. HR1 also reduces the impact of lobbyists by broadening the definition to include more people and increases transparency around lobbying. It also ends lobbying from foreign interests in other countries. These reforms give a louder voice to the American people instead of lobbyists. The For the People Act also strengthens conflict of interest and ethics rules. Politicians often leave office and go directly into an industry that they once oversaw. This is called the revolving door. This is a direct conflict of interest. HR1 requires politicians to wait several years before going into these industries and lobbying for them. However, even with all of this, it's important to remember that the For the People Act doesn't do everything. We will still need plenty of reforms to truly end corruption and make our democratic institutions work properly. That being said, HR1 is a massive step forward to achieving that goal, and it's now headed to the Senate where there's no guarantee it will pass. Here's what you can do to pass the act. Spread the word both on social media and offline. This is particularly important when it comes to communicating with people in states with Republican senators who are likely to be against HR1. Remind them that this bill helps all of us and it shouldn't be a partisan issue. Even if your senators support HR1, contact them and tell them to do whatever it takes to pass the bill as is. No watering it down. We can't let this opportunity pass. Check out my video on how to find and contact your elected officials if you don't already know how. We need your help to pass the For the People Act. Please like this video and share it with others who care about making our country better. Subscribe for more content on anti-corruption bills and reforms that make our democratic institutions work better. See you in the next video.